I thought Ryan was a real quiet, shy young man because I was around him with his father, who was a wonderfully loquacious, great storyteller. And Ryan never got a word in edgewise when I was with him. But it turns out he's quite the character, just like his father. Some of the stories I've heard, I can't repeat tonight. But he became a terrific player. I did try to get Coach McGill to recruit him. But at that time, they were just signing phenomenal player. And Ryan was late to tennis. He was a three-star athlete in other sports. But anyhow, enough of me. Could we cue up the video of Ryan Blake, please, Justin?
Ryan Blake's journey on the tennis court has taken him from a great high school athlete to collegiate player to world-ranked professional and even coach. Along the way, he's traveled the world, winning matches and making people laugh, all the way to the Hall of Fame.
And well deserved. He will be one of the more interesting characters in the Hall of Fame. He will add to the Hall of Fame as much as it adds to him.
You know, from a young kid, 2 years old, all the way up to now when he's 51 years old, coaching college tennis. It's been an honor to watch him grow through the years.
At 11 years old, Blake began his career at the Rivermont Country Club in Roswell, where his parents, Marty and Marcia, were recreational players. Blake's mother ran local tournaments and officiated at the U.S. Open and Davis Cup competitions.
Well, we belonged to go to Rivermont because the neighborhood we lived in didn't have a pool. My kids were all young, so we started playing tennis there. And he watched us and he started playing on the junior teams there. And that's how he got started, and then from there.
Blake's first coach was Hall of Famer Larry Schnall, and his early instruction helped Ryan find success at the junior level.
I think he got most of his talent from his mother, Marcia. Because I used to coach Marcia as well back in the day, so I can see where Ryan got his talent from.
Blake was a three-sport standout at the old Peachtree High School in Dunwoody. He excelled in football, basketball, and baseball. But when the coaches wanted to make him a lineman, he chose to focus on tennis.
Well, he's actually just a tremendous athlete, and I don't think he actually became a good junior player till sort of the end of high school.
Blake was a tall, powerful player with a strong serve and forehand.
How heavy and hard he can hit the ball. It's actually kind of amazing.
By his senior year of high school, Ryan started to make a name for himself. He was the state singles runner-up in the GHSA Quad A tournament, the highest classification at the time. Despite his high school success, he was not highly recruited, but did get an offer from Georgia Southern, where he would end up playing both #1 singles and #1 doubles in Statesboro from 1986 to 1988.
But his talent level, if he had started a few years earlier, he probably easily could have played on the Georgia team instead of a lesser team like Georgia Southern. So he started a little bit late. Of course, he made up for it later.
After graduation, Blake did not plan to play professionally, but after working out and holding his own with touring pros Dan Cassidy and Barry Moore, they convinced him to give it a shot.
I don't think Ryan understood his potential and his ability when he was just out of college. That not only would he beat these guys, he would beat them to a pulp sometimes. He was an incredible athlete, and it was a good decision for him to turn pro. I think that's set him up for. He's still involved in tennis. It set him up for his whole life.
Ryan Blake played professionally from 1989 to 1995 and won tournaments across the globe. He played qualifying matches at Wimbledon in both the U.S. and Australian Opens. And in 1994, he won 3 qualifying matches back-to-back to qualify for the main draw at the Australian Open. During this time, he beat many top 50 players, but his most notable win was over former world #1, Patrick Rafter.
What got him through that time was being incredibly competitive and having an incredibly strong sense of being able to accomplish anything he set his mind to. Some great determination got him through that 6 years.
Now, not every tournament that he played in had the facilities of a Wimbledon or Flushing Meadows, but that never stopped Blake. Once he even brought home a trophy from Southeast Asia.
I had a chance to go to India a few years after he played, and the hotel I was staying at was right next to the National Tennis Center of India in Delhi. So I said, where did you stay? He said, well, we stayed in the dormitory, which I had gotten a tour of. He said it was 50 cents a night, unless you wanted a towel, then it was 75 cents.
After leaving the tour, Ryan Blake continued to play locally, winning the Atlanta City Open singles title. Later, he would capture the 30 and over Atlanta Senior Invitational. Then in 1997, he teamed with his old coach Larry Stahl to win the wild card qualifier at the AT&T Challenge in Atlanta. He would then do it again in 2000 with partner Chris Decker.
We just had a fantastic time doing that, and today I'm so grateful for him carrying me, throughout all our matches throughout the years. So, but to be out there playing against the number one seeds in front of the crowd, it was just nothing like it.
Despite a stellar career on the court, Blake may be best remembered for his wardrobe choices. Or rather,
The big stage in the South, and it was played in Huntsville, Alabama. And Ryan did incredibly well. I think he was in the 45, but the funny thing was, the only people he looked like were the maintenance guys at the tennis center. He didn't look like any of the players. So he's kind of always been known to not necessarily wear a tennis shirt, and some of his rackets may have been in the closet for a couple of years, but you can't underestimate him. He can really play.
You can't judge him by the way he dresses on the tennis court. Because sometimes we're going to match that has his Budweiser shirt on, his road shirt on, or no shirt. He's always in basketball shorts and high top tennis shoes. So you really can't judge Ryan by the way he looks, because the next thing you know, you're shaking hands, and I've had one opponent come off and says, I think I just lost to a rodeo clown.
professional at the Sporting Club of Windy Hill and the Country Club of Roswell. He's currently the head pro at Count Lake Hills in Woodstock and is a volunteer assistant men's tennis coach at Kennesaw State University, where he has found tremendous success working with college players.
If you don't have a connection with your student athletes, there's no way you can coach them. He has been able to build that connection in a very short period of time. Our team trusts him on the court, off the court. He's a lot of fun to be around. He's very intense, of course very knowledgeable, and that's a complete package that very few people have it. And he has it. He has it all. I think if you wanted to be full-time college coach, he would be one of the best in the nation, for sure.
These days, Blake still picks up matches around the area and works as an NBA scout.
He's a great national athlete with an incredible will to win. And that probably got him through more matches than anything else, was that he just would never give up. There's a lot to be said to that.
Congratulations to Ryan Blake, a 2018 inductee into the Georgia Tennis Hall of Fame.
Welcome, Ryan Blake.
Wow, that video pretty much struck to the core. And at 52 years old, I don't have much core left. Seriously, thank you, Scott Singer Salon, for all the hard work you put into the video, especially for the hard work, lots of hours you put in the prep work for Larry's makeup. I would like to thank the Georgia Tennis Foundation. I am extremely humbled, especially to be honored alongside a pioneer and a legend in her own right, Julie Ray. I think her story needs to be told loud and often as she continues to be an inspiration to boys, girls, and adults alike. So congratulations, Julie. Now, as I understand, Richard, I only have 60 minutes to speak, so I need to get going.
6 to 8 minutes.
What?
6 to 8 minutes, not 60.
I guess you didn't get the intel report on me, so I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance. All right, so listen. Tennis has been the second most important thing in my life, behind my kids, my family, and my friends. Many of those friends that that I've met or coached through tennis are here tonight, and I'm truly touched. And those friends throughout the world have become my family. My kids, Elijah and Sarah Jade, are here. My brother Elliot from Iowa. My sister Sarah and her family from Atlanta, and of course my mom, Marcia. I also want to recognize that we have lost a few of my Georgia tennis heroes throughout the years. People that I have admired. My good friend Mark Abadikian, Georgia Maya, who I was lucky enough to play with, a sweet soul individual. I got to be friends with Herman Bubba Ratcliffe, and there's many more. And those guys I miss deeply. And I feel lucky that I've known these guys. They're great men. Now, I've had many people that have inspired me, mentored me, and have helped me with a sport I truly love. And most are from the greatest tennis state in the world, Georgia. This is our state. I would like to talk to you about some of these people. And due to time constraints, these may be short, but it's very important to me that these people are that I get to recognize them. All right, first, the person that catapulted my deliverance in tennis was John Kelly. From when I first began tennis, to going to the camps at Big Canoe, and to being my only coach ever, junior coach. He made the game fun on and off the court, and he also made my game so much better. So for your patience, for your belief in everything that you did for me, probably more patience than anything, thank you, and I love you. Jim Hodges. I met Jim at Northside Athletic Club, and he was the person that gave me the confidence to play on the circuit, to ask better players to play. And he set the foundation when he told me that I needed to compete harder than my opponents. He also told me to enjoy the journey no matter what, when, not if, I win a tournament to bring that trophy home. So Jim, for everything you did for me, and of course for your friendship, thank you, and I love you. Next, Larry the Doodlebug Schnall. Now, for those of you who don't know, Larry, of course, was my first coach at Rivermont Country Club, but he was also my first boss. And when I started teaching after I quit the circuit, I quickly realized I didn't know how to teach. As an instructor, he gave me the confidence to work hard, to be the best that I could be. I could see how much fun he had teaching, and it resonated with his students. But he also gave me the confidence to create my own lessons, to be creative. Now, Larry was a solid mentor. He really was. He used to tell me stories of how he grew up, playing in the juniors along with the same people in the same age group, like Bill Tilden and Fred Perry and as a partner, now Larry was, we matched up competitively. He had to compete in everything. At one time, he took me to his hometown, I think it was in Mableton, Georgia, I think it was. And he wanted me to watch him compete as the reigning champion in his own county's cousin kissing contest. Which, of course, he won again. Now, the benefit I have with Larry is I still get to play alongside him and watch him frustrate 20-year-olds, which and I'm not talking about the waitresses and Hooters. I'm talking about the people on court. And that's impressive for a 72-year-old. 62? 3. Well, you look great. Larry, for all your help and friendship, thank you, and I love you. Now, I want to talk to you about Dr. Jim Hayes. I met Jim Hayes at Northside Athletic Club as well. And after a year on the circuit, Jim came to me and offered his financial assistance to help me continue my dream of playing on the tennis circuit. What I didn't expect from Jim was a coach on the court and off the court. But this was positive. He taught me how to be a professional. He taught me how to have a professional approach to the game. He got me in the best shape of my life. He taught me about loyalty, about accountability, about trust. He taught me about how important friendships are, not only in tennis, but in life. He also taught me, encouraged me to compete, and this was really important. So here's an example. One year I was playing in El Salvador, and I was settling in for the night before my semifinal match. When the El Salvador guerrilla rebels decided they were going to try to attempt to take over their hotel and the president's palace down the street. So there was helicopters, tanks, mortars, gunfire, bombs, and just chaos. And I ended up getting back to my hotel room, and I ended up getting a call out to Jim. And as I was lying on the floor, I opened up the sliding glass window to the balcony, and I put the receiver out, and I let him listen to the war. And after I complained for about 10 or 12 minutes, he said, "Well, Ryan," he goes, "do you think they're going to play tomorrow?" And I said, "I don't know." But then he said, "Do you think your opponent wants to play tomorrow?" And I said, "Copy that. You got to want it more than the other guy." And as a result, the next morning, everything was clear. We got escorted across the street, packed stadium. And before that coin toss, I made sure that my opponent knew that I wanted that match more than he did. And when I looked in his eyes, I knew that he knew that I wanted that match more than he did. As a result, I got to my second consecutive professional tennis singles finals. Jim, for everything that you've done, for everything, friendship, and everything that you are, thank you, and I love you. Finally, I'd like to talk about my mama. Right here, baby. I know mama talk, but listen, she's the reason why I got into tennis. And it wasn't that she pushed me into tennis. I used to watch my mom and my dad play, and I wanted to be a part of that. Now, my mom later became a USTA referee. She officiated the Davis Cup, US Open, NCAAs, many tournaments. She was also a tournament director. But I also had the benefit of having at my fingertips that USTA rule book all the time. It was like having that tennis magazine, the Alta magazine, where you could write in and get all the answers, and she had every single one of them. And she was always right. If I didn't think it was, she'd throw the rule book at me and say, "Look it up." Now, my mom played and ran tournaments at Bitsy Grant. And this is where I knew I wanted to pursue this sport full time. I used to watch Bitsy Grant play, the Howell brothers, Joe Becknell. I mean, many guys that are here. And you just don't know how much I looked up to all you guys. You see, there was this sense of romanticism that I loved about this game that I knew I had to be a part of. And my mom gave me this. So I got to tell you the story. When I was in 9th grade, my mom signed us up for this National Equitable Family Tennis Challenge. It was a mother-son event, and if you won the local, state, regional, and sectionals, you got an all-expense paid trip to go to New York to play at the U.S. Open during the U.S. Open. By chance, we got to the final match. And we also were playing a very experienced 18-year-old and a very good mom. And we got to the third set. We got to the third set tiebreaker. But back then it was that tiebreaker that was 5 points, the no ad, right? So whoever had the 5 first, that was it. And we were down 3 match points. But I was serving those 3 match points against us. And I had the hammer. I had the hammer serve, and I brought that hammer down on those first 2 points. And on that last match point, I'm serving to the sun. The mom was cowering over there at the other side of the doubles alley. And I brought that hammer down one last time to the bottom of the net. And on my second serve, I went to toss my second serve, and as I looked up, I saw my mom looking at me. And I realized then that if I double fault, then I'm going to have to spend the next hour and a half in the car with my mom going home with an angry mama. And as I released the ball, which hovered about my shoulder area, I went to kick the serve. It ricocheted off of every part of my Prince Pro aluminum racket, went to New York, California, came back, hit the mom in the doubles alley in the leg. But I put my hands in my face and I was disgusted with myself. And as I listened to the celebration of our opponents, I finally gathered myself and I walked to the net to shake my mom's hand and to congratulate my opponents. But my mom wasn't looking at me. She was at the net shaking her finger. And this is what she said. Excuse me. I'm a USTA official. That ball did not hit you on the leg. It did not hit the ground. That means it's our point, it's our game, it's our set, it's our match. So son, get your bags. We're going to New York. And as I walked to shake my mom's hand, she had this little disgusting look on my face. What just happened? Like, I walked up to her and I said, well, Mom, does that count as an ace? Mom, for everything that you've done for me in tennis and all that other mom stuff, thank you, and I love you. Now, Richard, I apologize if I went longer than the 6 or 12 minutes that you gave me to thank the people that made this possible. But this is 6 minutes that I never would imagine I'd ever have the opportunity to thank everyone. So for that, everyone here, with all my heart, thank you.